Hey there, Tom Murphy again, Danna-Gracey, and the Nurse Practitioner Full Practice Protection Program. This is for all of our nurse practitioners that are just venturing out into practice, whether it be an existing practice or on their own, hanging their own shingle and starting their own practice. And for those students that are looking forward to getting out there. First and foremost, we want to take this time to thank all of you because you are our frontline providers, and quite frankly, you're the future of medicine. So from us to you, thank you very much for all that you're doing. We wanted to spend a few minutes today just to talk briefly about some of the things that they don't necessarily teach you in your medical training that prepare you as you go out, whether it's in an existing practice or out on your own. And these are just some of the things you need to be aware of. And we will do some podcasts and other things in the future that will delve into these items deeper, but we just wanted to give you a brief snapshot so you'll have something to think about. And of course, you can always contact us if you have any further questions. One of the first things is to know your practice guidelines and your protocol, as well as your insurance requirements as you get out into the world, whether it's with an existing practice or out on your own. You need to be checking with, using your resources. Check with the Board of Medicine in the state that you're going to be practicing. And if it's multiple states, check with the Board of Medicine in every state that you plan on practicing. Remember that those state guidelines are all different and the licensure requirements are different as well. So check with those resources. Also use your society resources, the American Association of Nurse Practitioners, and then the state societies such as we have in Florida with the Florida Association of Nurse Practitioners. These are wonderful resources for you to find out information pretty quickly in terms of things that you need to be thinking about as you venture out into practice. We all know it's a really different world out there today with everything that's been going on in the past year or so. And it's created some dramatic changes with telemedicine and telehealth, which have been around for many years. However, they've accelerated dramatically over the past year. And along with this, it's created new risks for medical providers. And so these are things that you need to think about when utilizing telemedicine, telehealth. And these things, obviously will, in terms of risk, will include things that you need to think about in terms of state lines, talking to patients that are not in the state that you're in, and making sure that you're following the proper guidelines. And so the resources I spoke about earlier can help you with that. We can also help you with some of your questions. There's more to protection for your practice than just medical malpractice insurance. There are a lot of coverages that come into play that you don't necessarily think about. Obviously, the medical malpractice is very important, but we have other coverages that are just as important nowadays, such as regulatory, cyber insurance, employer liability, and workers' comp. The first two, which I won't delve into much today, are very important in terms of how they work with your practice, regardless of whether you're with an existing practice or if you're out on your own. Regulatory is really important because of things that can happen in terms of complaints with the Board of Medicine, et cetera. And then cyber insurance, of course, we all know, and you hear about the stories every day in the news where not only medical practices, but all businesses have been having issues with cybersecurity. And so this is really important, especially for protecting your patient's health records. So keep that in mind as you go along. If you're joining an existing practice, you want to make sure that if they're providing your insurance coverages, that you really verify what they're providing. Get copies of the insurance policy and a certificate, and have an expert, somebody that, whether it's your own agent or someone at Danna-Gracey, review what the insurance coverages provide to make sure that they're adequate for you. So don't just assume that they're adequate and that they're providing it. You want to verify. Having your own coverage is wonderful because it provides your freedom. And what I mean by that is you can actually work for multiple practices, as a lot of our nurse practitioners do. And when you have your own insurance policy, it allows you that freedom to go from one practice to the next or work in multiple practices. If you're working for one practice and they provide your coverage, then you can only use that coverage for the practice you're working for. So another thing to be thinking about. As I said earlier, be careful with practicing in multiple states. You want to check with those states and their guidelines for the licensure and the protocols that you need to be abiding by. And I can't say it enough, use your resources, whether it's your state society, the national society, the Board of Medicine, or someone like us here at Danna-Gracey. We can be really helpful in terms of giving you the proper answers and guiding you in the right direction as you move out into your practice. And as I said earlier, we're going to be doing a podcast that will delve deeper into these items, and we'll also have a question and answer situation to provide additional information for you. So feel free to visit our website at www.dannagracey.com or call us here at the number at the bottom of your screen, 800-966-2120. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.